Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So yes, this is another voiceover. I still look like a squished grape, but I'll be back next video, though I'm sure no one's at home crying about it, so let's just move on. So do you guys ever hear stories on the internet that are so fake that you immediately think of, you know, when you were a kid and your dog ate your homework or like some crazy thing happened so that you couldn't do your homework? Very that. I actually don't like immediately doubting someone's story, but here everything I've seen has been so surreal that it's hard for me to believe it was even taken seriously for an instant. You'll see what I mean. Maxine actor suing Mia Goth for battery has checkered legal past. James Hunter, who is suing Goth for allegedly kicking him during filming, was sentenced to stint in jail in 2015 after being accused of rent scam. He has denied any wrongdoing. Now, so far, I was like, okay, because of what he did in 2015, that had to do with a rent scam. Like, yes, that's shitty, but that doesn't mean he's lying. Though, immediately, someone claiming that an actress at potentially her peak of fame, like Mia Goth, would purposefully kick someone in the head or deny it, even if there was quote-unquote evidence, is insane, because that's like shooting yourself in the foot in terms of your career, right? It would be faster and easier to admit wrongdoing, and then you also get points for being like an honest Hollywood celebrity, right? So I was already like, really? But the story gets so much more difficult to believe as it continues. A background actor who alleges that actress Mia Goth deliberately kicked him in the head and calling him a big baby during filming of Maxine has been accused of being a quote-unquote vexatious litigant by an ex-girlfriend and her stepfather in separate ongoing civil lawsuits, according to court records obtained by Rolling Stone. James Hunter, whose IMDb credits include appearances in Curb Your Enthusiasm and Weird, the Ali Yankovic Story, was also sentenced to a stint in Los Angeles County Jail in 2015 after being accused of running a rent scam. The 47-year-old's past resurfaced on social media after filing a $500,000 lawsuit against Goth and the Maxine director West and entertainment company A24, claiming he sustained a severe concussion after filming a scene with Goth in April of 2023. Hunter, who was hired to play a dead parishioner in the horror flick, splayed out on the ground as Goth sprinted past him. During one take, Goth allegedly got too close to Hunter's head, and he claimed he alerted the crew to ensure Goth would keep a safe distance. In the following take, according to the lawsuit, Goth ran by Hunter and purposely kicked him in the head. Already, as of all of this sounds fake. In the sense of, if you were on set and someone who's supposed to play a dead person comes to you and tells you, hey, I almost got injured, just in terms of not even morals, just in terms of liability, anyone who works on set, I feel like, would be like, okay, let's tell Mia Goth to be careful, let's put something in place to make sure that nothing bad happens, because again, liability, not for the sake of anything else. So the fact that he would have apparently told them, hey, you have a liability on your hands because I could get my head fucking squished, and they do nothing, is a little unrealistic to me, though, like I said, it's not about them caring about their actors. I tend to believe he didn't say fuck all, or it actually wasn't that deep, but that's just me. Hunter alleges he told an assistant director about his injury and later claimed Goth was seemingly forced to apologize to him. But when Hunter left to use the bathroom, which was at base camp and a few minutes away from the set, Goth allegedly followed him inside the portable restroom to belittle him, the lawsuit claims. The assistant director declined to comment on the incident. Goth allegedly said, "Nobody will believe you because you're nothing. Get the fuck off my set, you big baby," according to court documents. Despite being booked to work 3 days for the shoot, Hunter claimed he was informed the next day that he was no longer needed, insinuating he wasn't called back to set because of the alleged Goth incident. Now this is where it truly becomes cartoonish, and with all the benefits of the doubt I could try to give this man of like, you know, maybe he was a victim, maybe he did almost get his head stomped or whatever. Really? She followed you into a bathroom stall. She's putting her career on the line, potentially, by following you into a portable bathroom and saying that you are a big fucking baby and to get off her set, knowing full well that you could go and report this and turn to the news if you had a credible story and not ruin her career, but definitely hurt it at least a little bit. She's gonna put all of that on the line for you. I don't even understand what the motivation would be, because here it just seems like her motivation was like, oh, she's a crazy bitch and she got mad that I complained about her on set, so she followed me into a bath. You know, that's what I don't understand. And granted, people are disappointing, crazy, and disgusting, but this all seems a little far-fetched. However, 3 senior Maxine production sources tell Rolling Stone that no one on set witnessed the alleged kicking incident, saying they first learned of it when Hunter filed his lawsuit. Hunter claimed his injuries were so severe that he nearly lost consciousness on the drive home and had to visit the emergency room the next day, but the sources claim Hunter never informed anyone of his alleged injury. And then it says, the Actors Union, which Hunter is a member of, did not return Rolling Stone's request for comment on if Hunter ever made a complaint through the union. So this is also the other thing. I've luckily not had any real incidents where I had to report someone, but one of the first things they tell you is to report someone as soon as you can, within, you know, the limits of what happens, blah, blah, blah. Every situation is different. In this particular case, I don't see why you wouldn't report it immediately. Also because if you did have to see a doctor, they could probably speed that up for you instead of you going home, almost apparently losing consciousness and then going to the ER by yourself. It doesn't make sense to not say anything about it, especially if you were supposed to go back on set. Wouldn't you want them to know that this almost happened so they could change things, take care of you? You know, like, there are a lot of questions popping up, and this sounds like an elementary school kid story. The thing is also, it makes a lot of sense that if you did want to scam, if you did want to potentially, I don't know, blackmail or threaten an actor, that you don't say anything to anyone and very conveniently the next day you quote unquote have to go to the ER. Really? And no one saw anything and you didn't say anything to, really? Jeff Olin, the casting director who provided the film with Hunter and other background actors, tells Rolling Stone that Hunter didn't mention the alleged incident when Olin's company told him he wasn't needed for the remaining 2 days. I'm dumbfounded, Olin says. It just makes no sense to me at all. He never complained about something happening to him on the set. Well, what a shock. In a statement, a spokesperson for A24 said the claims made in the complaint are simply not true. As this is in active litigation, we cannot say more at this time, but continue to vigorously defend Mia and the entire filmmaking team against these extremely baseless allegations. Hunter's claims have brought widespread attention, largely due to the unusual allegations. Hunter's been vocal about his case online, giving interviews to entertainment outlets, posting about the movie, and firing back at anyone who casts doubt on his claims or brings up his legal history. The only person who got scammed was your mom when she gave birth to you, slob. Hunter wrote to an ex-user. Okay, that one's kind of funny, but it's just like the jokes write themselves. Truly, like, this is cartoonish. I'll be passing this on to my attorney. I'll have to pay a process server extra to locate you in the hood, he tweeted to another. See, this is truly like middle school behavior. Rolling Stone reached out to Hunter's attorney for a request for comment. While the lawyer did not reply, Rolling Stone received a call from Hunter directly. What a shock. Again, and this is the thing about a lot of people who fish for this kind of weird attention and potential monetary gain from the attention. They're not good at hiding it. They call your lawyer and he doesn't reply, and so you call? That's absolutely insane. Anyone with like 2 brain cells would never do such a thing if they were actually serious about their litigation. But anyway, in an hour-long call, I don't even know what you have to say for an hour, but Hunter repeated his claims that Goth intentionally kicked him and alleges that he continues to suffer from long-term effects of his alleged injury. Hunter also wanted to clarify points about his involvement in a criminal and several civil cases, denying any wrongdoing. This is where he gets truly genius. You're gonna have to be very careful of what you print, because from my email that my attorney forwarded me, it sounds like you're getting ready to do a hit piece on me, Hunter said. You're within your First Amendment right to print whatever you want, but be careful, because if we come out on top and we win this thing, I mean, just be careful. The stupid allegations aren't going anywhere, because truly, yikes. Just saying to someone, be careful of this already, I don't know lawyerish, I'm no expert in bird law, but truly, warning someone to be careful often just comes off as a threat, especially in this particular situation. So in 2015, Hunter was sentenced to 10 days in county jail and 3 years probation after being arrested on a charge of theft by false pretenses. Hunter was accused of running a rent scam that targeted Los Angeles area college students. Hunter has a habit of posting advertisements on Craigslist for apartments for rent. A UCLA Police Department notice read he would scam the victim out of money while the lease was being transferred to another person. After Hunter's probation period ended, the case was dismissed in 2018 per a California state statute. Hunter denies that he ever scammed anyone, saying he only pleaded out because he had a bad attorney and he couldn't afford to fight the charge. Now, I'm reading all of these to give you context. I will say, I do think that people can change, and just because you have a checkered past, it doesn't mean blah blah. You guys know what I mean, right? But I think the benefit of the doubt can only be given where it is worthy of being given. And if you have a story that sounds like a cartoon story, and then you have all of these other things that happened, the benefit of the doubt wavers quite a bit, because where are we getting this benefit from? Like, where can we find a beneficial doubt to lean on? Because everything so far adds up to you're scamming, you want money, end of. If you can prove I stole anything, give it a go, Hunter wrote on social media. Clickbait, fake news stories from over a decade ago certainly won't help you. Even if it were true, how is it relevant? And to be fair, like I said, it's not necessarily directly relevant, but people will always look at your history when they're looking at currently what's going on with you, right? That's inevitable. Hunter is also on the defense about a restraining order granted against him from a former girlfriend in 2022, which he is currently appealing. The woman applied for a domestic violence restraining order against Hunter in April 2022, claiming that her year-long relationship with Hunter around 2019 was not healthy. When she attempted to end things, Hunter began to stalk her and threatened to kill himself, according to court documents. The situation escalated. The woman claimed when Hunter threatened to send explicit pictures to the dean of her school and put sexual photos and videos of her on the internet. And this is the part where I continue to give less and less benefit of the doubt, because this is scummy behavior. First of all, the rent scam is already scummy, with students who are probably already having a hard time paying bills as is. However, this gets even more perverse, because you guys know how I feel about this. Having any type of private content of someone, threatening to release it or effectively releasing it, there's no excuse for that, and there's no situation in which I will ever back that. Even if it's the person I hate the most in the world, I will never be okay with you sharing that type of content. The bond of trust when you send that type of content to someone is, well, ideally strong, and it should never be tested like this, where someone can just be like, oh, you know what, let me publish some, private pictures of you. I get pissed about that one, but anyway. In screenshots included as part of the woman's restraining order application, a phone number that purportedly belongs to Hunter sent the woman harassing and threatening messages. Okay, I see you want a war. One message read, let's go, this is gonna be epic. The number then sent multiple sexually explicit photos and videos of the woman. You mentioned the police to me again, this goes on Pornhub. A message included in court papers read, this is chess we were playing, not checkers, and I'm great at the game. Hunter denies stalking the woman and claims he never sent threatening messages to her. They never proved that the phone number came back to me, he tells Rolling Stone. I mean, at this point, I think most people would know it would be best to shut up, because everything he says, honestly, like I said before, is just more damning, because who is going to be sending her these things if not him? Still, an order of protection against Hunter was granted in August 2022, and Hunter filed an appeal that October. I want to clear my name, Hunter says, of his decision to appeal, and because also I'm not done with her by any means. See, saying things like that doesn't help your case at all. I'm not done with her by any means. Wanting to clear your name is one thing. It's another thing to quote unquote not be done, because that seems more vengeful. That seems less about you and more about her. And I don't know how much that is about clearing your name. Hunter filed a civil lawsuit against the woman, claiming she broke an oral contract from 2019 to film scenes for his unreleased movie, Vagabond Lover, 1999. Well, I'm not going to comment on that title. According to court documents, the woman was paid $2,000 for 2 days worth of filming. Hunter filed a $2 million lawsuit against the woman's stepfather in May 2023, claiming the man pushed him and threatened him when he tried to collect payment from the woman. That all sounds very real and true. In court documents, both the woman and her stepfather filed motions for the judge to consider Hunter a vexatious litigant, someone who files unmeritorious or frivolous lawsuits as they fight to throw out his cases against them. A judge denied the motion on the basis that the other litigation Hunter is involved in is ongoing and hasn't been determined as meritless. Hunter has denied the accusations online as well, tweeting, "You must be one of those believe all women cucks," to a user who brought up the restraining order and the woman's claims. He acknowledges his language on social media can be colorful, but says he's an actor. It's all entertainment, but also try to imagine how you would react if you saw people bringing up lies about you from the past and inaccuracies, he says. You guys know I'm not a believe all women, believe all men, I believe all nothing. It's believe where there is merit to believe based on your opinions, the facts you gather, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, when he says, oh, you must be one of those believe all women cucks, that's not really it at all. It's just that your story doesn't add up. So yes, people are more likely to believe her because your story is frankly the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But anyway, Hunter is demanding for A24 to release footage from that night, claiming the company has been very obstructive. Sure, Jan. It just strikes me as odd that they wouldn't want to just show the footage, he says. By the way, it might not even be on camera, but we still want it. and we still want the audio. However, A24 has claimed in court documents that while they did agree to send over certain footage, Hunter allegedly refused to sign a protective order that would mark any material handed over during discovery as confidential. Hunter calls A24's proposal a unilateral gag order that would prevent his attorney from telling him about any documents in the case. Again, if this were all about clearing your name, wouldn't you want to just do whatever you could for someone on your side, whether it's your lawyer or even just the judge or anyone, to see what it is that you're talking about without you having to have a copy of it or seeing it yourself? I don't know, that's just me. If I'm sure about what happened, I don't need to see a picture or video of what happened. I just need the courts to see it in some way so they believe me. Definitely didn't want to put it on social media. On Hunter's part, A24 claimed he hasn't produced a single document pertaining to his claims and alleged sustained injuries. Hunter also says he'd be able to provide some material to support some of his claims to Rolling Stone, but later said his attorney prevented him from doing so, citing ongoing discovery in the case. This is interesting considering this is the same guy who had an attorney who wouldn't call back Rolling Stone, and he called Rolling Stone himself, something I'm pretty sure his attorney would not have been a fan of. So it's interesting that sometimes he does give a fuck about what the attorney thinks and other times not. Convenient that. While Hunter is adamant that he will prove his claims against Goth in court, A24 noted in court papers that Hunter bailed on his past 2 scheduled depositions. I missed those depositions because I was in the hospital with a severe migraine attack due to their client kicking me in the head, Hunter tells Rolling Stone. The next hearing is scheduled for September. The clownery of it all. And honestly, if it were more believable, I wouldn't immediately think that Mia Goth didn't do anything. I have no vested interest in defending Mia Goth or any actor for that matter. But in this particular case, not only does his recounting of everything seem silly and simplistic and quite coincidentally noticed by no one except for him and never reported to anyone on set and only the day after brought up, and he also has a past of scamming, and he also has a past of saying stupid shit online, so having the footage of being quote-unquote allegedly kicked by Mia Goth in the head could make him a lot of money. Not just these like very few reasons, but the fact that he's turned this into a whole fucking clown show. And again, I can understand wanting to have publicity for something that you care about, something that's important to you, but at the same time, there comes a point where if you're doing things for the quote-unquote right reasons, you don't really need to publicize it beyond a certain amount. There's no need to talk about it to this extent where honestly, it becomes silly because you've talked about it so much and it discredits your entire story to be screaming about it to anyone who listens. Anyway, you guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. I thought this was absurd, and honestly, it's difficult to believe that someone would think that people would believe this. Does that make sense? You know when someone tells you a story that's so obviously a lie and you ask yourself, how are you telling me this with a straight face? That is the vibe I'm getting. I could be wrong, but none of this seems credible, and you guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know what you think is gonna happen. I mean, I'm sure he'll do plenty of more interviews and he'll say a lot more stupid shit. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you to my patrons as always, and I'll catch you guys next time.